Hi guys, what's going on?
Hey, how are you?
I'm Joseph,
And I'm Leigh.
and we're both financial advisors for disclosure purposes here in the Czech Republic. Expats as well, right? And we believe that, having knowledge of the financial market or actually having... Okay, that's shit. I'm Joseph,
And I'm Leigh.
and we're...
Maybe you should say you're just from the UK or
Okay,
something. Yeah.
all right, okay. From the great United Kingdom. Okay, all right. Hi guys, I'm Joseph from the UK, the great United Kingdom.
Not so great anymore. No.
Well, yeah, this guy, whatever.
Okay, sorry. Do it again.
No, that was actually fine. I wouldn't mind that actually. I'm Joseph from the UK, from the great United Kingdom.
And I'm Leigh from Australia.
Why are you laughing about it? Okay, whatever.
We don't have a great in our name, but
As you should. Whatever. But we're expats, right, in the Czech Republic, and we actually operate as certified financial advisors for all disclosure purposes.
yeah, on the Czech financial market.
On the Czech financial market, okay? So we're not trying to sell anything here. We're really just trying to add value because we believe that financial literacy is super important. We're not taught that much in school.
Mm-hmm.
And so we were thinking, how can we add value to the people, to our expat community, or even just to general people who are interested about how to manage their finances?
Yeah, exactly. Like, you can do your own research on these things. Purely, this podcast is just to help you, to give you some information, and to just tell you bits and pieces about what we have learned and the reason behind what we do as well. And hopefully, it helps you. Hopefully, it teaches you something. Yeah.
Facts. I know, coming from my background, right, in accounting, you always help other people always help other businesses with their finances. But when you go back home, you're broke as a motherfucker. Like, oh my God, I can't do anything. And if you realize that actually a lot of the time you're thinking about money, we don't like that. Some people are noble and say, oh, I don't think about money. Good for you, man. But I do, right? 95% of my decision making is because of money. You know what I mean? So this is why financial literacy is important, because control of your finances gives you control of your life, and control of your life gives you the opportunity to live the best life.
Yeah. Particularly when you're thinking about the future, right? Because we all have bad habits, and most people do have bad financial habits, and that means spending whatever you have left at the end of the week, the end of the month, right? Not thinking about the future, not thinking about your retirement, not thinking about what you want in 5 years or 10 years, but living by the moment, which is okay in some ways. But, when you want to have a good, fulfilled life, like you said, it costs money, right? I mean, we're kind of talking more specifically to expats here in Czech Republic, and as expats, one of these, the cost of living is traveling back home, right?
Yeah, facts.
It's okay, not so bad for you, but I know for me to go back to Australia, it's expensive. And so these things, it all cost money, but we still need to think about the future. We need to think about retirement and putting money aside for maybe, my child and these kind of things. And the truth is that if we're not taught these things, which we're not taught what to do with money in school. We're taught to have good grades, go out, get your job, work corporate, and earn an income, whatever, and have your 4 weeks off every year. We're not taught what to do with money once it starts coming in, right? And so this is the goal, I guess, of what we do. And this is actually what got me into this kind of field, to help others with their finances. So I think this is a really good platform, good opportunity to do that.
Yeah, just share value, right? For me, I really believe you have to give more value than you receive in payment. Once you do that, you become someone or a vessel of attraction, right? People come to you. And actually, this is kind of really good, like financial information. Don't always work for money. Build the skills that attract money, right? And once you do that, you'll never have to worry about money again. It's all about building the assets that attract money instead of actually you working for money. And that's one different thing that most people have no idea. But the rich, the ultra rich, have that, and they're taught that. They figure this out from either other people, mentors, financial advisors, parents, etc. So learning, right, even in the finance field, learning is a lifestyle, right? So if you feel you know everything, you don't know anything.
Yeah.
Right? I'll be toxic in that way, right? If you feel you know everything, right, you don't know anything, right? Most people who know a lot of things, they say, I don't know anything. The more I learn, the more I know, the more I don't know, right? Is that cycle of ever learning.
Yeah. It's also how you see money, right? It's as a tool, or how you ever see it. You know, I grew up, I wasn't, you know, I grew up in a poorer kind of family, not really poor, you know, in Australia. So my mum brought up 4 kids by herself. So for me to go out and do the things I wanted to go, concerts, buy CDs, these, you know, I'm older, so I wish to buy CDs. You know,
Cool. I used to have CDs as well, man.
I think I used to spend all my money when I was a teenager, CDs and concerts. Yeah.
Oh, really?
Music, yeah.
Okay.
But in order to do that, I had to go out and work, right? So I went out, got a job. I think I started working some part-time jobs from when I was 12.
Oh, wow.
So
child slavery, guys. Child.
It was more of a charity thing. But then when I was 15, I think it's 15, when you're in Australia, you can go get a part-time job. And that's what I did in like it was a pie shop cafe, and I earned money there. Yeah. In a shopping center. And it was actually pretty good. I enjoyed it, and it gave me that a little bit of financial freedom. But then it also gave me bad habits because I wanted to buy things, right? So it's like when I had my money, I would spend it, go buy my CDs, go to concerts. And I didn't think about investing and not even probably not even a savings account back
oh my
then,
God.
Know? So it created some bad habits that I got over the years. And actually my wife, she's much better with money than like saving money and you know, saying no, we shouldn't buy this, you know, things like that. So it did teach me. But then of course doing this and helping others has taught me a lot, and I want to pass these skills on to others. And you know, the sooner you learn, the better or the easier it's going to be.
Facts. Yeah. Even from my experience, I remember when I got my first paycheck, I didn't go the traditional route of going to university, etc. I did actually an apprenticeship where I was working and studying at the same time. So I started getting money quite when I was 17. Yeah. And what I did, as soon as I got my paycheck, I went to Amazon, bought myself the nice sneakers, bought me the nicest clothes, this, that, the other. And I was always broke. I put in the habits that I inherited, right? Just spending money, that earning. It's actually using the money to make more money, right?
Yeah.
And I always thought the idea like saving. What am I going to save? You know, inflation's stealing away all my money, right?
Yeah.
You know, there's nothing out there I know, you know, that can actually help me. So actually recognizing, look, let's be fair. Everyone starts trading time for money is normal. We all do it, right? There is no free thing. The idea of passive income, forever passive, that's just growing and you do nothing, nonsense. You always have to do some type of work, because if you're not using some type of work, then obviously, I don't know what you're doing. You're doing something interesting, right? It's probably a scam if you put it this way, right?
Yeah.
So everyone's, get rich quick, right?
Yeah.
But everyone starts working for money, but it's through knowledge and understanding that you realize that there are other avenues that I can put my money into that actually can actually grow my wealth, because that's actually the kind of economy that we live in, right? Yeah. But yeah, this is kind of like, for me, this whole channel is actually an opportunity for me to teach it and actually build my knowledge by explaining it in a better way.
Yeah.
I've done a lot of research for myself personally. You know, I'm very a curious guy. I'm very contrarian. You know, when I hear information, I'm looking like, okay, what's the counter information to wipe that out? But essentially, I've learned a lot. I think I know a lot, but I actually realize I don't know much. So the way I can explain the different things that I do know so far actually helps me to do it in a nice, better way. You know, make it more simple, keep it short and simple. That's KISS,
that's
right?
Important.
And that's how I'm better. That's how I'm going to get better myself. So that's one of the reasons why I'm building this podcast as well.
So we have a name for the podcast, right? It's Finance Matters.
Yeah.
We have a website. We're going to upload things there so that you can check us out online as well. We'll have links there for podcasts.
Materials.
Yeah, some materials for you to learn from, right?
Interactive pages where you can even test your financial literacy, you know, in different areas of finance.
Yeah. And the goal of this is not to have such long podcasts, because I think these days people kind of lose interest faster, right?
That's a problem, isn't it?
Right? Yeah. So we're going to keep it, like you said, short and simple. We'll do it as often as we can and have different topics. Like some of the topics we'll touch on is like retirement and pension.
Boring.
Yeah,
I want to talk about some scandals. Let's talk about some scandals, man.
Okay, so
You know what I mean?
investing platforms, cryptos, insurances,
people,
right?
People who made it out of the mud. That's really inspirational. We'll have some guests over as well who could give their like expertise, right? Their story. I think that's really important. Knowing people's stories, you know, helps you to understand the lessons from their stories, from their experiences.
Yeah.
Because if you knew better, you would do better, right? And so the best way to know better or know more is either through your own experience or even better, someone else's experience. Right? That's wisdom. For sure.
Yeah. And I think we said we'll have some guests. We're not sure yet. We'll figure it out. But
take our time.
We're in a good industry to find some very professional people with a lot of experience. And so we can get some others involved as well. And yeah, we'll take it from there and see how it goes. But the ultimate goal is to help you guys manage your finances better. And particularly, I know as expats that we are living here, it's tough. And we're quite lucky being an expat in a city like Prague because it's very expat friendly. There's a lot of foreigners living here. There's big companies, you know, people can get jobs quite easily. But it's very difficult for us to make decisions because we don't know where we'll be in the future. Yeah. And this is one of the problems that I encounter with many clients is that, well, why should I think about investing here or my retirement here when I don't know where I'm going to be in 5 years, 10 years? And this is true.
It's a common feeling. Common feeling.
Yeah. I thought I'd be here 2 years. It's 15 now.
I thought I'd be here for free. It's already 6 years, right?
Yeah. And you know, if we don't make that decision, then it's very, very difficult for us. And then also trying to find the right information. You know, you're going to a bank or whatever that maybe someone speaks English if you're lucky. But often it's not really good English. So it's a lot of miscommunication. And often from what I've seen with my clients getting some product that really doesn't benefit them. So we just want to make it clearer and just let you know that we're here to help and make it better for you.
100%. So yeah, just recognize we're not trying to sell anything here, right? We're just trying to actually give value here. And so what would you say is what's the best way to actually build your finances? How do you think we should do that?
That's a good question, right? There's a way there's a tool that we use actually that we use for our clients to explain to them, and we call it a financial house, right? Because a lot of people, when there's a bigger picture to what you should be doing with your finances, it's not just investing. Because if you don't have a goal, then you know what's the point? And this is often the problem is that people don't think for the future. It's hard to picture your future self, you know, particularly when we talk about retirement and people see this person, their future self, as a complete stranger. They don't care, right? So it's always opening up a conversation about what's your goals. And you can often think about your goals yourself, you know, what do you want your life to be in 5 years, 10 years, in 30 years when you retire? And what is the cost of that? And I'm not saying you don't want to just see what you have now and think, well, I can't afford these things like what you're talking about. No, you sit down and really think about your future self. How would you like to live your life? And write it down and figure out how much this is going to cost and start planning for it.
And if I can add, like what you do today, or actually what's just happening, the results that you're seeing today, right? Tell the truth of your efforts from last year. Right? The efforts that you put in right now, you will only see the results next year. And next year's efforts, right? And the way you think about next year's efforts and how you start to implement those efforts next year will impact. So I'm 27, right? Today, what I do now will impact me when I'm 28. And 28 will impact what I do when I'm 29. Etc., etc., etc. So really, today is the best day to build any type of plan because a guy without a plan is just lost at sea.
A dream.
It's just a dream. He's just dreaming, right? All these people that have, I have a dream, you know, Martin Luther King, all that kind of stuff. That's amazing, right? But if you have no kind of like A to Z, if you have no navigation, right? If you have no navigation to your goal, to your destination, to the location where you want to go, what are you doing? What exactly are you doing? So you want to build that plan, the A to Z, and that requires actually doing it yourself or working with someone that actually knows how to do it. Do it. You know, and so once you have that A to Z, you can now actually build your life accordingly. So you're not just lost in the wilderness, right? Just wandering out of nowhere, right? And so this is why it's really important to, it's actually an exercise of visualization. Exercise of like, who do I want to be? Where do I want to become? What is the lifestyle that I dream of, right? You have to recognize it all starts from when you're younger. When we're younger, we want to be an astronaut. I want to be a doctor. But as soon as we go into school, I'm too dumb to be a doctor. That's a lot of work. I have to study like that. What? You know what I mean? So really, today is the best day to make any decision for your future, right? Because that's really the reality.
Yeah.
You know?
So, yes, we'll talk about this. And you mentioned being lost in the wilderness. So it reminded me coming back to that financial house.
Oh, yeah. Talk to me, man.
This
is really good.
We often, a nursery rhyme, I guess, or a story we learned growing up, right? The Three Little Pigs.
That's a good one.
I'll explain this financial house because I think it's a really good tool. Because as I said, it's not just about specifically investing. There's a combination of things if you want to have financial freedom for the future.
Yeah,
it's a few different things you need to be doing, right? It's also like you're talking about habits as well. You got to create good habits first. This is what it starts with, the little steps, which we'll get into. But this financial house, it's like if you remember the Three Little Pigs, right? So essentially what we're trying to do is build this financial house the same as the third little pig, right? The strong house built out of bricks, so that when the bad wolf came, which could represent, COVID or
facts,
getting fired, having
maybe
an accident, not
going
being
through
able
a divorce,
to work,
maybe.
Right. Then you're protected. You have your strong foundation, your strong house.
You can say to the wolf, "Fuck you." You know what I mean? You can huff and puff, but you ain't blowing this house down. You know what I mean? But it's true. Like,
go find Little Red Riding
Hood. Exactly. Go find Little Red Riding Hood. That's a story in itself as well. But like, literally, how you build your house, right? You see the third little pig, he built it with hay. The first little pig, he built it with hay. The second one did it with like wood. And the guy did it with stone. So how you build your house now determines how you survive the big bad wolf.
Yeah.
So I live by the slogan, prepare that rather than repair. You see how I did that there? Yeah.
but also it's a good point as well. Like it takes longer. Yes, it takes longer, a bit longer to build this big brick house.
Yeah.
But it's gonna last your lifetime. Your
child's That's a good one. That's a good
lifetime, right? So you can't do it overnight. As a process, and it's step by step, and everyone can do it.
And those that are religious, right? The story of the wise man that built his house on a rock. That takes a long time. He had to like struggle. He did it up in the mountains, right, where there's a lot of foundation there. He broke all the wood, he broke all the stones, put them into shape, etc., etc. That takes a long time. Person that does it by the sand, right, by the beach. Oh, so nice. I get to relax, tan, everything is a lot easier. I can do little sand castles and little like avenues for the water and everything. But guess what? What happens when the wave comes in, the tide comes in? You're screwed, right? If the storm happens, you're screwed, right? But the guy in the mountain, right, with his big stone wall, stone house, he's good.
Yeah.
So prepare rather than repair.
And so let's talk about the prepare.
That's the first thing we do, bro.
Yeah. So let's get into this financial house.
100%.
We'll put it up here, right? So you can see what we're talking about.
Yeah, you can follow along.
All right. So you have of course, some other financial planners may use something else, something different. Maybe it reminds you of a pyramid and these kind of things. But a house is a great term because it does represent security,
stability.
And when you build a house or any building, you start from the bottom and work your way up. So it's the same case with this, right? And you see at the foundation is just responsibilities. That's the responsibilities you have to take care of yourself. Maybe you have your family, your health to take care of, right? These are just the basics.
And recognizing that you're the king in your castle. Yeah. You're the CEO in your company, right? You have to take responsibility. No one else can do it for you, right? And you don't want anybody else to do it for you, right? You want to take total ownership.
Yeah. So then we come to these pillars, right? These three pillars, which are kind of essentially the support, the strength of your house. This is where you should start. This is paying yourself first. You get paid, take care of these three pillars, and then what's left is your lifestyle, right? So when you see these three pillars, I guess we start on the one on the right. It's the most straightforward one, which is securing of property. This is anything expensive, you own a house or apartment or a car, whatever. Of course, you get it insured, not because you plan on having an accident or it blowing up or something, right? But things
protect the value. Yeah,
right?
To protect the value of it, right? You're kind of protecting, the way I like to put it simply, I'm protecting the things I bought with my past money.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Exactly. And no one questions that. They understand the insurance for a car and house, fine. When we go to the left here, securing of income, right? This is a better term, income protection or securitization of income, which represents life insurance, right? Which is a little bit of a
sticky one.
Yeah. And I find that a lot of people that just diss it is because they don't understand it.
And we'll talk about this in greater detail, right? We're just going to go over the basics, right? But we're going to go over the details, why people are afraid of it, what really life insurance covers, and how it can actually help you, right? Because that's the whole idea of it.
Because most people think that life insurance is, in case I die, someone's going to get some money, right? Yes, this is the worst case scenario, right? But what happens if you're in a car accident? What happens if you get hit by a tram? Or in a tram accident, break your leg or you dislocate your arm and you can't work for a few weeks or a few months, cancer, these kind of things. Anything that prevents you from working is going to have a huge impact on your finances, because when you're on sick leave, you get about 50% of what you're used to. But most people, particularly expats here, spend way more than 50%, right? Their expenses are usually high. And so that means it creates financial problems, financial difficulties.
But wait, can't I just ask my landlord to pay like 50% of the bill? If I'm getting just 50% of the income now?
You can try.
Those that can negotiate like that, DM me, man. I want to learn from you for sure. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly, right? You still have the same rent to pay. You got to eat. Maybe on top of this, you have medical expenses. So essentially, life insurance is insurance to give you money in case of these bad circumstances,
to meet your commitments,
unpredictable circumstances.
Exactly.
So you can still pay all these things without the stress. Because also, this is a problem that when you have financial burdens or financial stress, it doesn't help you get better.
It's actually worse, right?
Yeah, it makes everything worse.
You're just trying to get yourself to some kind of stability or some type of condition that you can get back to work
properly.
Facts.
So we'll do a topic dedicated to that, because I think it's an important one. I think a lot of people don't understand it.
Yeah.
The one in the middle, a lot of people do understand, and this will be our next
our
podcast,
second,
right?
Yeah. This is the second episode, guys. This is the big one.
Yeah, this is pension or retirement, right? Putting money aside now for future you, which a lot of people find it hard to do. Man, I wish I started when, I wish we were taught, as soon as you get your first paycheck, put 5% of it even back then towards your retirement, right? Man. Because when you get older, I'm 43, it's tough.
Oldie.
Yeah. Great hairs.
But let me have a go explaining this one, because,
go for it.
The best way I like to look at retirement or pension planning, essentially, how can I secure my current lifestyle when I stop working in retirement, And so you have to recognize there are two ways to do it, right? You either do it through yourself or through the public government, right? And so most people don't do anything, so they're reliant on the government, right? So then you need to understand, okay, how does the state pension, the government pension, the public pension work, right? So imagine three types of people, okay? You have current workers, you have the state, the government, and then you have pensioners. So most people feel that, okay, I have my little piggy bank. Oh my God, it's so cute. The little tail there and everything like that. And every month out of my gross income, I get like 5% or 6%, depends on the country, right? Goes into that piggy bank called Leigh. Fat little Leigh. You know what I mean? And so then after 40 years, 50 years, whatever, I can break it, right? And then I can live off that money and retire. That's how we feel. It makes sense. That's how we've been taught. Or that's how we've been, knowledge has just been somehow drifted into our head somehow. But in practice, this is not how the public pension works. So imagine the three people like I mentioned out. You'll see on the screen as well here. You have the current workers, you have the government, and you have pensioners. What you feel you're paying into your little piggy bank called Leigh, right? What you feel is going into your little piggy bank, Leigh, actually just goes to the state.
Yeah.
That's social security tax, guys, right?
Yeah. It's not for you.
It's not for you. The government takes it and then they give it to the current pensioners. Now, once you understand that, then you understand that we're in a bit of a sticky situation, right? And to know more about it, we'll talk about it next session, right?
Yeah.
So keep see us for next one, right?
Yeah.
Cool. You know?
Cool. And then it's an important one. Yeah, for sure.
And it's really the case of demographics, right? And so it's actually really important that you start to take responsibility, take total ownership, so you don't rely on the government, because the government will not be able to fund your current lifestyle in retirement.
Exactly. Your retirement is your responsibility.
Yep. Facts.
Cool. So now you have your pillars, right? You have these things, amazing, right? You have the foundation of your financial house. And then what's left? We have these two parts here, like your expenses, right? Or your expenses and savings. These are both important, right? We need to pay our bills, etc., and we should have some savings. But this is kind of, in a way, our lifestyle. So you take care of the pillars, right? And what's left? That's your lifestyle. And that means that maybe sometimes you have to sacrifice a thing here or there. But this is for your future, right? Of course, savings, having some safety net is really important. And what's
recommended? Or you want to
I'd say three, 4 monthly salary saved, just in case.
So really the minimum is 3 to 6 months of your expenses.
Yeah.
The maximum is really like 3 to 6 months of your income, right? For those that are really risk averse, okay, 12 months. But anything more than that, you're actually risking losing more money than actually your savings, right? Because of there we go. That's the big word. You know, inflation. Basically taxation by the government.
Yeah.
Sorry, man. Don't get me started, man. I have a lot of fun with this information, right?
That could be another topic.
Yeah, exactly. That's a whole different topic on itself, right? But essentially, saving, you need to have some savings so at least you can, if something was to happen, you can buy, let's say the car breaks down, you don't need to worry, you don't need to go into debt.
Yeah.
Right? If you need to travel and see your family, you can do that, right? Because it's super important, right? You don't need to ask people for help here and there, which is, look, it's very uncomfortable. You know what I mean? You know? And then even just looking at living expenses. Living expenses are super important because what you can measure can be tracked. What you can track can be measured. What can be measured can be improved upon. And most people have no idea where their money is. It's like, imagine money going into my palm of my hands, right? What happens is every month is gone. It's gone. We have no idea what happened to it. Oh my God. I feel broke. So you're just waiting for the next paycheck. That's paycheck to paycheck living, right? Yeah. And actually I saw this report that, especially in the US, people that are earning 100K per year, that's really good money, are living, I think 70 to 90%, don't quote me on this, 70 to 90% of them are living paycheck to paycheck.
Wow.
Do you know what that means? Like, if anything was to happen to those people, they are in trouble. And there's actually this philosophy, you could be cash rich, but broke.
Yeah.
But you can actually be cash poor, but wealthy. And actually how long you can survive without working is actually a measure of wealth.
Yeah.
Measure of wealth.
Cool. Good points. Yeah.
And so once you have your savings in order, you're tracking your expenses on a weekly to monthly level. And then you also have that kind of external protection for your lifestyle right now, if anything was to happen to you not being able to work. Your lifestyle in the future for when you're not going to be working anyway, right? And the things that you already own, that you value, right, that you protected, you're actually quite independent.
You're doing well. Yeah.
You're doing very well.
Yeah, you don't need this big fancy roof just yet, right? You're doing very well.
Yeah, you're doing super well. You're doing actually really, really well. But of course, this is actually when you are able and financially capable of investing now. A lot of people just start with their expenses. Oh, I'm surviving. Then go straight into investments. What happens if something bad happens to them on the front end? Like on the back end of that foundation? Imagine if you see some cracks, or like you see, what is it? Like we talked about the man who built his house on the sand. Water comes through. Oh my God, all that things I was trying to build on top, it has to go, right? You lose all the money because to really invest, you need to do it long-term and diversify. That's really one of the rules of investing.
And also with these pillars, right? If you're doing one and not all of them, like let's imagine you are doing something for your retirement, which is great, but you don't agree to life insurance, or you don't see the value in the life insurance, and something happens to you and you can't work for a few months or years. The first thing you sacrifice is your retirement, right? So that's why this financial house is a really good tool to teach people what to do with their finances to have a better future.
Facts.
And then these things in the roof, they come last. Extra investments, buying luxury items, you know, things that you don't need. But if you have everything else, then why not? It's kind of your reward for taking care of your financial life.
And you've earned it. You've earned it, right? You get to live life the way you want it. You get to treat yourself, right?
Cherry on the cake.
Facts. And that's when naturally you can start to really use your money to make more money with knowledge and expertise, right? So that's kind of the joy that people are trying to do, but they do it way too early. You know, so what you should be doing is taking control of your fundamentals, right? Getting strong with your fundamentals, building the knowledge, the skills, so that when you're able to, you can now be aggressive if you want to be, right? I think that kind of like explains the house pretty good.
Yeah. Just then you got the chimney with taxes. What?
Yeah, guys, always pay your taxes. Don't mess about with don't mess about with the tax, man. As an accountant, right? You don't want that kind of grief. You don't want that kind of thing. Actually, you want to reserve cash. If you have a business, you want to reserve cash for your taxes. Don't just spend it all off. And then it's now April. Tax is a tax month, and then you're now looking. Oh my god, how am I going to pay my taxes? Right? No, be smart. Put systems in place to protect you, right? Because of course we are emotional creatures, so we need a system to feel safe, right? And so this is what you always put some money aside for your taxes, guys. Don't mess about with that.
And also, if you do these things right, you can save on taxes as well.
That's why the rich get richer.
Yeah.
So guys, level up, man. This is what we're doing here with Financial Matters, Finance Matters, trying to empower you so that you can have an empowered life. Finance Matters.
Cool. I guess that wraps it up for this session, eh?
100%.
Yeah.
100%. I think that's pretty good.
Yeah. As we said, we have the website as well.
Guys, like, comment, subscribe. Tell us if we're doing something wrong. You know, if you look ugly, you know, Leigh needs to get a haircut. I should wear a tie or something. You let us know. We're good for feedback. We like feedback, right? Constructive feedback.
Yeah.
Like if you're going to tell us that, oh, you know, some madness, then okay, we won't listen to you. Then whatever, you know. So pay your rent. Like this video if you find it valuable, and we'll see you on the next one. We're going to talk about the pension crisis.
Yeah, retirement.
Right? Yeah,
cool.
Nice
one.
Good job, man.
Cheers.